Good morning. Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Happy Easter. It's April 12th, 2020, and I am live with you today to play with some super fun projects using two bundles today, Grace's Garden bundle and Beautiful Moments stamp set. So I'm super excited to show you guys what I've got. Okay, so you guys, I am playing with Grace's Garden and Beautiful You. Or Beautiful Moments. These two stamp sets together, I think they were made for each other. They're absolutely stunning. I love them both. I played with Grace's Garden on my Facebook Live on the Pretty AF stamp group, and I have some of the projects here that I made with them. So this is Grace's Garden. Made some little garden projects, and my fourth one is, I actually gave them all away, so I can't show you my fourth one, but it is over on the Pretty AF group. So if you're on my team, you get that group for free. If you want to join us, you just pay $15 a month, and you get a Facebook Live with a PDF every week, and you get we have giveaways each month, and it's a lot of fun. So this time I'm playing with Beautiful Moments in Grace's Garden, and I designed these three projects, which are all very whimsical and cute, and I just love this. I made this kind of memory picture frame of some little girls collecting seashells on the beach, and I love the sentiment. It says collect beautiful moments, so I thought that was pretty appropriate. And then I made this one where it's a beautiful garden, so the mom and daughter in the garden. It looks like I'm lagging pretty badly, huh? Is it bad for anybody else? So here is my card, and then if you open it, you extend out the garden. So now you have the little kitty and the bird, and it says you're somebody's blessing. So very fun. Love this card, and I love these two together. I think this would be a great Mother's Day card, or a card to your daughter, or any family member for that matter. And then I think this one's kind of my wow card. This is a bench or bridge fold. I think it's called a bridge fold. It lays flat, fits inside of an envelope, but if you open it up, it pops into this 3D kind of card, and I love this gate, and then having the woman in the field there behind it. It's very whimsical. It's very pretty. It's kind of like escape into this, garden, magical kind of garden. And then I have a place in the back for a message, and I didn't stamp it because I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to use it. If I wanted to use it as a thank you card, a miss you card, or a birthday card, or not quite sure exactly. So I didn't stamp the sentiment, but I opened my gate. I cut my gate so it can open. Just very, very pretty card. So those are today's projects. Now, again, back to that Pretty AF Facebook group. Now, I am using the Beautiful Moments stamp set in that group this Friday. I go live Friday night at 6 p.m. And so I'll just give you a quick sneak peek of those projects. I did watercolor for those ones. So this one's probably my favorite with the watercolor. I did this one as well for our creative challenge. I don't know if you guys have seen our creative challenge over there yet, but I did this one for that one. This one was, I tried a no-show watercolor technique. And then this one's probably the wow project. It's an easel card, but it's also a box. So this one, it says collect beautiful moments, and it's a little box inside. So this is my kind of wow project, which I thought was really, really cool. So those are my projects for Pretty AF on Friday. If you haven't joined us, you definitely should. It's only $15, and you get so much for that $15. You can cancel at any time if you feel like you don't want to be in that group anymore, or financially you can't, but you will love that group. And the link for that is also on my project sheet. So let's go ahead and get started on these projects. All right. So now we'll move on to this pretty Z fold. This is called the double Z fold card. It's a fancy fold card, but it's super simple. Once you see it all come together, you'll be like, wow, that was easy. There are several pieces though, because there's all these little panels and stuff. So let me bring this up here. So we're going to do the little mom and the daughter, which I think is so pretty. And we have some scraps. So let's do our little scene here first, but I'll tell you all the measurements of the pieces you need. Okay. So the first thing is you need a piece of petal pink cardstock, and it measures 4 1/4 by 11. And I scored at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. Okay, so 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. And then I cut another piece of petal pink. This piece measures 3 5/8 by 10 1/2. And it's also scored at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. And when you fold these, you're going to fold in a Z fashion. So these both are going to be folded like this. So we have 2 Z's. And when we glue these on, we're actually going to go in opposite directions. So the short side is going to glue to the long side, and the long side is going to glue to the short side. See how that's going to work? And it's so easy to do. So you'll see here in a second. So for the big piece, we have some background panel pieces, and I used the Bird Ballad Designer Series paper. So the first piece is 4 by 5 1/4, and that's just going to mat. I love the polka dots on this paper. So we're just going to mat this here. And then I cut 2 pieces that are 2 1/2 by 4, and they are going to mat these little panels here. So one here. And one here. Okay, so that is our base. That's our base card. Now, we're going to set aside those little pieces because we have to do some stamping and coloring on these 3 pieces. These 3 pieces go in the inside. So this piece measures 3 1/2 by 4 7/8. This one measures 2 5/8 by 3 1/2. So 2 5/8 by 3 1/2, and then this one is 4 7/8 by 3 1/2. Okay, so for this big piece, we're going to use again Memento ink because we're coloring. I know I love both of these sets. These sets are awesome, and again, like I said, for these projects I used blends, but for my other one on Pretty AF, I used the watercolor, and oh man, I love both. There's so many ways you can color these. Okay, so I stamped them in the center. They're going to kind of be our focal point. But we want to stamp some flowers in the garden. So the garden, they have all these really cool flowers that you can stamp with, and the gates and everything. So we're going to use a lot of these stamps here today. We're going to use the long flowers. And I want to stamp these behind the gate. So I'm going to stamp them a little bit high because I want them to be seen over the gate. This one I'm going to stamp next to the mom. Okay. And then on our other piece here, this is our center piece. We're going to stamp some flowers in the background as well. So we're going to stamp some tall flowers. And we're going to stamp the smaller bundle of flowers. But we have to stamp that one a little bit high so we can actually see it over the gate a little bit. Okay. For this piece, we're just going to do the sentiment. It says, you're somebody's blessing. You're somebody's blessing. I said it right the first time. So there's that. And then I just did a little sprig of flowers. And I used, so right here in this corner, I used it from the Beautiful Moment. So I'm going to grab that. We'll just get all that stamping done, and then we can focus on coloring. Okay, so those are our 3 panels there. And then I have some scraps because we need to stamp 2 sets of the fences. So we have the fence stamp, which is right here. We're going to stamp that twice because we are going to cut those out. There's dies that cut it out, which are awesome. So we're going to stamp this twice. And I probably should have used my piercing mat to get a nice clean image. So when you use these photopolymer stamps, sometimes it's nice to have your piercing mat or something underneath it to help give a nice solid stamp. A little bit better. Maybe I need to re-ink my ink pad. Okay, so we have our 2 fences, which we will cut out. And then I also need to stamp, I have some scrap pieces. I need to stamp these 2 sets of flowers, this little cat and the bird. So I have all of them here. So we're gonna cut out, we're gonna ink up and cut out this stamp, this flower. So this flower and the kitty. I love the little kitty, he's so cute. The bird, tiny little bird, and the smallest bundle of flowers. So I guess we didn't need this one. All right, I think I have done all the stamping. Now we get to color. Color and then cut out. Okay. So for the flowers, I used I determined like what I wanted each one to be. So for the little flowers, I did dark flirty flamingo for like some pink. I'm gonna use my fine tip because the brush tip is too fat. And some of these flowers aren't complete, so you just kind of have to guess what's a flower and what's a leaf, and it's totally up to you. So for these flowers that kind of look like stars, I did flirty flamingo. So I did the same thing for this little bundle here because they kind of look like the same flower. So just little pink ones. Same with these. Okay, and then for the flowers that are growing on top, I used Light Night of Navy for a little blue. Just get a little blue flower going. So we'll do that one here too. Not that all flowers have to be the same colors, but that just kind of helped me have some uniformity. All right, now for the tall flowers, I used light Highland Heather. So we're just gonna color in these flowers. And it's kind of hard to do these little balls up here, the tops. Oops, I went way out of the lines there. Good thing there's a magic lifter, huh? Okay, so there's those, and then we'll do these ones. And then for these, I also did the little purple. Okay. Now we got to do the green, and I used the light Mossy Meadow again. I like that green. It's a nice green. And I'm just going to kind of, not that any of this is going to be seen behind the gate, but we'll just kind of color it as if it is going to be seen. And I'm going to use my fine tip just because I want to make sure I'm sort of staying in the lines. Again, my coloring is by far it's very far from perfect. And I'm okay with that. So just coloring in some leaves. Okay. Again, most of this won't be seen, but in case it is, we'll just color it in. Okay, now the other thing we have to do is we have to color the bottom because the fence isn't going to go to the very bottom. So we want to actually make it look like there's grass on the ground and they're not floating. Oops, I colored the little girl's feet. Whoopsie. Her feet are stained green because of all the playing in the grass she's been doing. Right? Okay. Let's see. Oh, I need to do green over here. So I got my little green there, and then I need to color my kitty and my bird. So I'm gonna do yellow for the bird. It's gonna be a little yellow bird. And then for my cat, I did little brown spots. I think this one's gonna be black and white, so I'm gonna do little black spots. Of course, you can always color your cat solid. You don't have to do spots, but I think the spots are cute. So I'm gonna do a little black and white kitty. Just gonna decide where my black spots need to be. There's my little black kitty. All right, and now we're gonna color these two. So for the little girl, I did light Daffodil Delight and dark Daffodil Delight. So I'm gonna do a base of light. And then of course, take my dark, do some shading. Quick shading, not doing careful shading just because honestly, I could be here all day coloring. Yes, the grass has been freshly mowed. And Jenny's like, your grass is a little bit too straight. Okay, for her, I did Highland Heather, a Highland Heather dress. So again, light for the dress. So base coat. And then shading. And then blending. Okay, so there's our two girls in their dresses. Let's do some ivory skin. Now, because I got her foot green, I'm just gonna go heavy on the ivory to kind of blend that green and the blue and the brown, and it will make some of that green fade away. And that's why I like the blends. That's why I said doing the bodies first, because you can kind of correct if you get out the lines a little bit. Okay. Now for the hair, I did, I actually used the bronze. So the bronze, the skin tone, I actually used the bronze for her hair. It's a very pretty brown. And then like mother, like daughter, right? Okay. I think we've got everything colored. So let's go ahead and cut out these pieces and then we'll put it together. So we got to get our dies. And we are going to cut out, we're going to cut out the fence twice. We're going to cut out the birds, the cat, and the flowers. And look, there's just so many pretty dies. Okay, so let's get the big shot in here. Here we go. Now the fun part, to actually assemble. Okay. So here's our example. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna glue our panels down and then we can kind of decorate them. So let's put our Aren't these two stamp sets just perfect together? I think that you need some people to play in the gardens and I don't know, with all the flowers and things and the cat and everything. I don't know, it just goes so well. Okay, so we've got our three pieces. Now for the fence, what I did to create this open fence look is I took my fence and I cut it in half, right down the middle, like so. And then I took and I glued that short side across. So I'm going to use liquid glue for that. So glued my short side down. And down. Like so. Okay, and then we take our flowers that we cut out and decorate the front of our fence. Like so. Okay, and then we've got this fence. I'm just going to put this one directly in front of the flowers. I tried cutting it in half and moving it and stuff, and it didn't work, so. And then we have our little kitty. Whoops. Isn't he so cute? He just wants that bird so badly. Put our little bird up here on the fence. Okay. Now, to put our pieces together. So this is actually pretty simple. You're going to lay it across here. Flip this up and just put glue on this first panel where you know it's going to be covered up. And you want to leave some space on both ends and just kind of make sure it's centered. So just put glue there, hold it down for a second. And then you're going to fold up this end and put glue on this panel. Like so. So it's nice and flat. And then when you fold it, it will fold like a perfect Z. See that? So cute. Love it. This is such a pretty card. I love how they stand too. They're very pretty. You can have it standing open to see the whole garden. It's super, super cute. I love it. And again, I just think these two stamp sets go together so well. I just absolutely adore them. I love, love, love these two bundles, the Grace's Garden bundle and the Beautiful Moments stamp set. I hope you guys have fallen in love with these projects. They're great for spring. They're great for Mother's Day. They're great for family cards. I just think they're so awesome. And then hopefully you guys will join me for some watercolor and some super cool projects. This easel box that I made. These watercoloring projects that I'm going to be doing on Friday. So awesome. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful week. I'm here if you need me. If you have questions, I just love hearing from you guys. Thank you guys. Have a fabulous Easter. Bye.